Hey, it's me. Excuse me, it's Laura. Straighten that up a little bit here. That's better. So here I am to read the Declaration of Independence to you. I've been promising this for a long while. I still have a little touch of laryngitis left, but I'm determined that I'm going to make this happen. So we're doing it. It's been a long haul with this laryngitis. And by the way, it's okay, and I'm okay. And after chest x-rays and chest CAT scan and putting a scope down my throat and everything else, going to the specialist, it turns out that it was acid reflux, burning my vocal cords. And I've had acid reflux off and on over the years, but I had medication for it, and but it hadn't been acting up lately. I didn't notice it anyway. I mean, it wasn't doing like it used to, but I guess there was just enough there once in a while, and then I would take the medication and it'd go away. But for some reason, it decided to irritate my vocal cords. So they're getting better. They're almost done. Well, you can tell if you heard me the last couple of videos, which it's been a while, you know that I didn't sound very good. And there were some mornings that I got up and I couldn't even whisper, which was the oddest thing. To be able to, to not be able to talk is one thing, but not to even get a whisper out. I mean, I just opened my mouth and nothing, not even, nothing would come out. So, but now it's 4th of July, Independence Day in the United States of America, where I live. And I got up this morning and I thought, big deal. 4th of July, what's there to celebrate? How much independence do we have left? And how much are we going to have left, the way things are going? And then I thought, that's the wrong attitude. It's that defeatist attitude that wants to hit us. And it gets to all of us at one time or another. And, there's so much unrest and stuff going on. I'm not even going to list it all and where I'm at with it all. I don't like it. I'll put it that way. And this is my country. It always has been. I was born here. I grew up here. And I've lived here all my life. And I will live here the rest of it. And I'll be golly. Where'd that come from? I'll be darned if I'm going to let circumstances that other people have made take away my pride in my country. And I don't like everything that's going on in it. I don't like everything that the government is doing. But you know what? It's still America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I hope that you guys will feel that you people watching will feel like, take heart, there's hope. Now, I know that some of you watching probably just love everything just the way it is, and that's okay. That's your status quo, and that's okay. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying it's not mine. And so I am here to read you the Declaration of the Independence, like I said I would. Now, there's some big words in here that, not just big words. I mean, I'm okay with big words, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's a big word. But, excuse me. Sorry. It's that tickly throat. Have a drink of water. So there's some words in here that were used in the days that, in the language that this was written back in 1776. And some of the words are not words that we use commonly today. There's a couple words in there I never even heard before and had to practice saying them. So hopefully I won't stumble over them while I'm reading this to you. So, the Declaration of Independence in Congress, July 4th, 1776. Whoops. Let's see. Get it to focus there a little bit. Well, maybe not. But anyway. Okay, this is it. Listen to these carefully. You might be surprised. If you haven't read it in a long time, or if you've never read it, you're going to be a little bit surprised, and just think about it, what it means, what it meant then and what it means today. Here we go. The Declaration of Independence in Congress, July 4th, 1776. the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect its powers in as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for colonies. And such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain, now this is 1776, remember, is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till its assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out our substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and acknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us all in all cases whatsoever. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrection among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers. The merciless destruction of all, or the merciless, I'm sorry, let me start that one over. He has excited domestic insurrection among us, and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity. This is one of those words. Magnanimity. I had this word so down pat earlier today. Magnanimity. Okay. And we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of consanguinity. They too have been deaf. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We therefore, representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by the authority of the good Pope of these people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these United States colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that, as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That's the Declaration of Independence. And it was signed by, let me remember now, I'll look back here to see. It was signed by, let me read this. The signing. Congress on July 19th ordered the declaration to be fairly engrossed on parchment. And this copy is the one which is finally signed by the members on August 2nd, 1776. When John Hancock, as President of the Congress, affixed his bold signature to the immortal document, and he wrote it very big, where all nations should behold it, and all time should not efface it, he is reported to have said upon laying down his pen, "There, John Bull can read my name without spectacles, and may now double his reward of 500 pounds for my head. That is my defiance." The other members then signed the declaration. In all, there were 56 signers, but it is very likely that fewer than 50 signed it on August 2nd. The others signed at various times, even as late as 1781, when Thomas McKean, who had voted for the declaration on July 4th and left Philadelphia almost at once to join the army, was allowed to sign. In fact, 7 of the signers were newly elected members of Congress who had not been present to vote for it, and 7 others who had voted for it on July 4th were no longer members and therefore did not sign. The original of this great state paper is carefully preserved to this day in Washington. After 180 years, this little booklet was written a while ago, so after 250 years, it exists not only in body, but also in spirit for our country, whose birth is announced, still stands secure upon the foundations of liberty, equality, and justice. These are the great cornerstones of American independence. Firmly set in place on July 4th, 1776, when the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. So, there you go. So, stop and think about some of that, I'm just still the lighting again, One of these days I'm going to get a good light. But anyway, so think about the words to that. And, we went through it kind of quickly here, and I stumbled through a few little places, but I just wanted to get it out. And so it was kind of impromptu. I hadn't planned on doing it today. And then it dawned on me. I got up this morning feeling so depressed and thinking, what is there to celebrate? We just don't have the freedoms we used to have. And things look kind of bleak right now. And then I thought, no, that's the wrong attitude. We will not go down. This country will not go down without a fight. We are not going to be defeated. We can't. We can't let it happen. So, I'm going to do what I can, which isn't much, but, maybe if somebody hears this video, here's the words of the Declaration of Independence, maybe it'll strike a chord with them, Maybe it'll rise some people up. Anyway, happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. And some of you won't see this until afterwards, I'm sure, because it's getting a little late in the day. And like I said, I hadn't planned on doing it today, but it dawned on me that I just had to. So my voice is starting to get a little rough again. So I'm going to stop here and just tell you all that I care about you all. And regardless of your political affiliations or anything else, we're all in this together. And we should act like it. All this fighting is just silly. It doesn't accomplish anything. Be open-minded, think about things, look at what's going on around you. You can look up the words to the Declaration of Independence online. Just Google them or something, and you'll have them. And, maybe print out a copy of them and put it up on your wall somewhere. Read it like every day for the rest of this month at least, which is a long time. Maybe just for a week or so. But read them for yourself and mull over them and think about what they mean, and think about some of these things that the King of England back for those days, some of the things that he was doing that caused the people to want to make this Declaration of Independence and the Congress to write it out and to sign it. So, yeah. Have a great week. Have a great month. Have a great year. Have a great forever. Stand together. Don't fight with each other. That's like little sibling toddler stuff. It's like kindergarten or junior high at best. We need to grow up. We need to grow up as a country, and we need to grow up as people. So please like and subscribe, do all those things, and please do share this. And in the meantime, Ad Astra, do all those things, and please do share this. And in the meantime, Ad Astra, to the stars.